A very good day to our lecturer, Prof. Madya Dr. Sun Janjan. My name is Nur Izati binti Sulahaji. My metric number is 254081.
My name is Nor Farha Yasmin Rosli, metric number 255006.
Our research proposal is determinants of happiness among University Utara Malaysia students. Everyone wants to have a happy life. Happiness is valued as a very important element or component of quality of life. Happiness depends on many aspects, including in terms of income, labor characteristics of employment, health, leisure, family, and others. Happiness affects behavior in many ways. Based on Malaysia's performance in World Happiness Report 2019, Malaysia is the 80th happiest country in the world, a massive drop of 45 places from the last year's 35th with a score of 5.339 as compared with last year's score of 6.322. Happiness is one of the resources that can affect student academic performance. The sources that contribute to the happiness of students' life are mental health and spiritual intelligence. According to the World Health Organization (WHO), where individuals who are always happy and often feel positive emotions are able to identify their own abilities, skills, and can respond to life stress or environmental changes better. We can improve happiness in many ways, including eating, exercising, playing sport, and other. Furthermore, in terms of demographic characteristics can also be related to happiness. For example, a happy person is one who is young, healthy, highly educated, independent, high work ethic, simple aspirations, and the gender with a broad level of intelligence. The objective of this study is to determine of happiness among University Utara Malaysia students.
Problem statement. Finding from the World Survey Value found that Malaysians achieve a high level of happiness at the age of 18 to 20 and follow 56 and above. This means that Malaysia will gradually feel less happy as they enter their early 20s. It is a common knowledge that at the age, most Malaysians are continue their study at the university level. The World Survey Value also found that the highly educated are less happy than the primary and secondary school graduate. This means that university students are less happy, plus the number of students with mental health problems is increasing every year. Therefore, it is very important to ensure that university students are always in the best mental and physical condition because they are the hope of the country. Next is research question. There are three research questions. One is, what is the definition of happiness? 2. What is the source of happiness among students? 3. What causes students to feel unhappy?
Now we move to the scope of study. This research covers UUM students of 8201 seasons. This season is taken to get a clear picture to the determinant of happiness among students. UUM is the sixth university of Malaysia which has officially established on 16 February 1984. UUM is also the only university set to specialize in the field of management since its inception. The total number of admissions for the A201 season was 4,856 students, consisting of 74% of which 3,334 were female students and others 26% were male students. That is why this research is only focused on UUM to determine happiness among students.
Next is significance of study. This research is important to study level of happiness among university students, whether at the best level, certified or poor. This study is also important to understanding more deeply about happiness, which can often not be interpreted correctly or misinterpreted. In addition, factors that cause students feel happy and factors that cause students to feel unhappy can be identified. Therefore, various ways can be implemented to increase increase the level of happiness among university students.
In life, happiness is very necessary. One must be in good shape in terms of mental well-being and moral intelligence to achieve happiness. This is because success in all circles in a particular university students may be influenced. Many experts agree that many sources decide the happiness of life in deciding the degree of happiness among learners. The strongest proponents of happiness determination, Seligman and Csikszentmihalyi 2002 and Van Hoven 2009, suggest happiness can help people preserve physical health and solve stress-related psychological problems. This can be seen by the positive vibes expressed to the individuals around them. On the other hand, happiness is not only about one's life satisfaction in general, but it is also related to one's psychological improvements, increasing positive aspect while decreasing negative aspect. Seligman 2002 says the healthy exercise and development of strengths and virtues as a key to the great life, a life at intervals which uses one's signature strengths day after day at intervals to bring life gratification and authentic happiness to the most realms of our life. The good life can be an area of happiness, rational relationships, and work, and from now on, Seligman encouraged us to travel, everybody to hunt a necessary life at intervals to look for happiness continuously. Besides, satisfaction is always achieved in our life with the simplest moments, not the passive, deceptive, silent moments. Usually, the easiest moments arise whenever someone's mind or mind is extended beyond its limits in a very voluntary attempt to do one challenging and worthwhile thing. This is according to Csikszentmihalyi, 1990. According to Van Hoven 2009, happiness maintains a relatively stable state or equilibrium and will not change significantly. It can be done with two conditions and characteristics that are met. First is happiness is a relatively stable situation and cannot be changed, and the second is happiness determined by some factors and can be changed in certain ways. To determine the happiness not only can help people maintain physical health and overcome psychological issues, Peterson et al. 2005 and Javalois 2007, but disagree with Van Hoven 2009. Their work as predictors was assessed on a scale from very little to moderate, finding that pleasure was the most predictor, followed by engagement and meaning. Level of happiness that the foremost necessary is leisure activity that goes out with the friends.
Next is theoretical framework. The theory of happiness is divided into two categories. The first theory states the happiness is fixed or unchanged. The second theory states the happiness is not fixed or can change due to certain factors. Under these two main categories, there are various theories used to determine and explain the factor of happiness. Among them, first, livability theory. This theory states that happiness is influenced by social factors in one life. Change or difference in social factors that occur will have different effect on an individual happiness. Second is comparison theory. This theory states that a person's happiness is linked to the two types of comparison. The first is to compare one current situation with the past, and the second is to compare one situation with others. The result of comparison of conditions make item better or worse will affect a person's level of happiness. Third is telic theory. This theory states an individual will achieve happiness when the goal set can be reached. However, there are some objections to this theory, such as whether it's better to satisfy short-term desire than long-term desire, and also to move toward desire is more satisfied than to achieve the desire itself. Fourth is hedonic theory. This theory argues that the positive and negative experience of an individual influence their happiness. The more sweet moment, the happier an individual is. Otherwise, the more bitter moment, the unhappier an individual is. Therefore, it is important for an individual to maximize pleasant experience while minimize unpleasant experience. Lastly, contrary to the top-down theory, this theory argues that happiness is influenced by the nature of an individual as they act on a situation. For example, a positive person to evaluate a situation towards goodness in turn creates happiness. This theory is also linked to how happiness is influenced by an individual personality.
Now we go to the literature gap. In addition to the studies discussed here, there are also several related studies that it was carried out to discover the source of happiness among students. We even as a students believe that the happiness can provide us with a lot of source, but where are the sources that really influence our level of happiness among UUM students? We can provide lots of answers to these questions by common sense, but is it possible to trust the answer given by common sense? In this scientific world, we can't actually believe anything without any evidence. One way to find out this response would be to undertake research to help or find out about the sources that contribute to happiness as an alternative idea. Therefore, we need to consider the sources of happiness so that we can understand and know how it can contribute to happiness among UUM students. The next part is methodology in terms of data. In this research, a questionnaire survey was performed. For this survey, the target was a student in UUM from 8 to 01 seasons. This questionnaire was divided into 4 sections. Section 1 is personal information. Section 2 is factor that influences happiness. Section 3 cause student unhappy, and Section 4 is open-ended question. Determining happiness among university students is the main theme of this questionnaire. The data collected were grouped into different categories. This data has a sample size of 100 respondents. People can improve their happiness in many ways from these studies, some of which include education, health, family history, friendship, wealth, past experience, and much more. Moreover, it is also possible to classify this questionnaire as a way to identify students feel unhappy. Table 1 is list the dependent variable and the happiness of the sample among the explanatory variables linked to university students. Next is the part of sample. The total number of admission for the 8201 season at the University of Utara Malaysia was 4,856 students, consisting of 74%, of which 3,334 were female students and 26% were male students. The questionnaire only focused on 100 respondents of these 4,856 students for the purpose of the paper study. A demographic profile of UM students is included in this questionnaire study. In addition, the factor influences happiness will be highlighted in this study that includes a good relationship with friends and family are the cause of happiness among university students. Other than that, we also want to find out cause University Utara Malaysia students feel unhappy. For example, don't have enough money that makes them not happy. The final survey includes an open-ended question for our respondents among UUM students.
Next is variable organization. Dependent variable is happiness. Questionnaire item, what is your view on happiness? Variable organization, because the question is open-ended, so the variable is based on respondent answer. Next is independent variable. Independent variable have a stand, where is family, friendship, education, money, health, appearance, personality, spirituality, experience, society. Example for questionnaire item for family, have a loving and supportive family. Friendship, have a good friendship. Education, achieving excellent assessment in academic. money, have enough money to live life as student. For variable opposition, use a linked scalar. 1 is strongly disagree, 2 disagree, 3 silently disagree, 4 either agree or disagree, 5 silently agree, 6 agree, 7 strongly agree. Next is model specification. General function for the study is happiness, which is dependent variable, equal to F, family, friendship, education, money, health, appearance, personality, spirituality, experience, society. These 10 are the independent variable. Production regression function for this study is happiness equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 family plus beta 2 friendship plus beta 3 education plus beta 4 money plus beta 5 health plus beta 6 appearance plus beta 7 personality plus beta 8 spirituality plus beta 9 experience plus beta 10 society and you. This study have two hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 is there is correlation between student happiness with a certain source. Hypothesis 2, there is no correlation between student happiness with a certain source. To test the hypothesis, respondents were given questions related to family, friendship, education, money, health, appearance, personality, spirituality, experience, and society. First, respondent will be asked to give a scala from 1 strongly disagree to 7 strongly agree to determine whether the state independent variable is able to make them happy or not. Second, respondents were also asked to answer questions about their level of happiness related to the state independent variable that they have experienced so far. Respondents were given a choice for scala 1 very unhappy to scala 7 very happy. Finally, the scalar score obtained will reflect whether happiness and independent variable are related or not.